But first, a little Debbie. Full size. One for now, one for later. How about this? I was changing out these hose pipes. I put the other one in there, turned it on, and unhooked this one from the water, and just dropped it, and the end of the hose fell in the water. And when I went and unhooked the other end from where I was replacing it, it created a natural siphon. So then I went to cut the water back on and just left. I was pumping water into the water trough all night long, and it was running out, siphoning out the other hose, drained my well dry. Took a week to fill it back up. Alright, so today, spray day. We got that new hay field. It's not really a hay field, it's old pasture. So we start by bush hogging it and getting it, all the old weeds cut down and out of it. Now it's been a little bit, so now the next step is to go ahead and spray, because all the dog fin are starting to come back up and re-emerge. And killing all the broadleaf weeds will allow the grasses come up through there. It's leaking so bad right there, that's why it ain't coming out here. I don't like bad mouthing people, but Harbor Freight right there. That is a visual symbol of Harbor Freight. She didn't last long, boys. Leaking so bad, ain't even nothing coming out the other end. Tools so cheap, it's like you didn't even buy them. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll let it start getting about halfway, a quarter way, and then we'll start mixing up our mix. On our Bermuda grass and pastures and stuff, we use 2,4-D, amine chemical. That's like the beginning of the chemical name. It's been around since like the 40s. And what it does is selectively inhibits and kills growth of broadleaf weeds, which is what you don't want in your pasture and in your hay. One day, when my pastures and hay fields get a little cleaner and less trees and whatnot, I may get the booms. But I just use this boomless sprayer, like an orchard sprayer is what some people call them. These two little spray nozzle ends make a curtain about 30 feet wide. That's what I use. That way I ain't got to worry about tearing booms off. Pretty cheap, easy way to do it. And I only spray like once a year. Only problem is this is only 110 gallons and I get about 6 acres sprayed per tank. It's a lot of downtime filling this bad boy up. But that's why we got coats and cream pies to chew on. So do a little math. Use about 3 ounces of these granules to the tank. This is my scientific measuring stick, aka stir stick. Alright, safety tip. You mix this stuff up, don't leave it sitting around for children. It looks a lot like chocolate milk. Once it's about halfway, you start pouring the stuff in there, and then we'll turn the pump on so it'll start agitating. Alright, once we get the herbicide mixed up, we'll add the surfactant. The surfactant is like the water, it's like a medium, but it helps it to bind to the plant leaves a lot better and helps it to spray and apply better. It's like a real sticky, gooey liquid that we add to it. Science. After this one, we'll cut on the PTO so you can start churning and churning the water up. Very, very scientific stuff going on right here. So I turn the PTO and it'll turn this roller pump. This roller pump moves fluid. I'm always scared I'm gonna look under there and just see fluid gushing. So this is that stuff I was talking about. Surfactant. I put a pint to the tank to mix in. You can see it's really thick and gooey and it's got viscosity. And now we do this about 8 times a day. Until something breaks. And just like that, changing the world. This time next year when your going to the grocery store and you're picking up those sirloin steaks to grill up for you and your buds, you can think of the guys like me just out here grilling beef. If I was big time, I'd have a big well with a big 1.5 to 2 inch line on it with a big gasoline powered or diesel powered water pump filling up 2,500 gallons at a time. And I don't. So anyways, once you turn that roller pump on and you get some pressure build up, you got some controls back here that send fluid here. Once you flip these nozzles, you engage this manifold to send pressurized fluid down these lines to the back here. And most people have booms. This simple little sprayer's just got 2 nozzle heads on it, but these heads are special heads. Most nozzle heads just kind of fan out like this, but these fan out in a long reaching pattern, so it makes more like a curtain. You know, I can only do about 30 feet wide without wind. If there's wind, one side may get blown in and one side may get blown out, so you have to be constantly watching. That's one downside of it. But the upside of it is when I'm in the cow pastures, in between trees and brush and gates and fencing, I don't have to worry about catching my booms on stuff. I can just roll with it and just spray. You turn this T-valve, it's supposed to be pulling fluid through there, catches in this little filters in trash, pulls it through here, and then this PTO pump turns it through this smaller line, brings it to the end of this manifold. And if you don't engage these to send it to the nozzle heads or to this hand sprayer, it goes back out to this relief and back into the tank. So it should be circulating. Damn it, it happens when I start enjoying my Coca-Cola. Oh, that was mostly foam anyways. Sorry. Woo! Fuel up, baby, fuel up. All right, last thing. I gotta adjust it because I don't want my manifold to hit these mounts. But right now it looks good. Earlier,